Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and we're back out here in the garage for another upcoming projects and garage gun talk video. And of course, my upcoming projects videos are where I show you firearms that I have into the channel for review that I will be filming content with. And the one pistol I have to show you tonight has actually been one of my most requested guns to take to the range. So I'm really excited to get this opportunity. And as you can see, it comes in an HK bag. So obviously it's a Heckler & Koch. And this is the CCP. I'm going to assume that stands for Concealed Carry Pistol. And this is a pistol that when it initially came out, I was, of course, interested in because I'm a huge HK fanboy. And I know they say HK hates you, but yet I still like them. Now, this is a pistol that really fascinated me, but I have to tell you my story with it because not this particular example, just the model in general, is it seemed like, wow, this thing is going to be pretty darn cool. And then I got my hands on one at a gun show. And honestly, in person, I'm a little bit disappointed with it. Now, it feels like it's quality. The polymer is really nice. Like it kind of feels like it's a dense polymer. It looks like it's machined well. It has like that HK quality finish, which I guess they call the hostile environment finish or something. But I mean, it looks and feels like an HK. Everything on it is tight. I really feel like handling it in person, it kind of reminds me of, I don't know, like maybe like a Taurus. Aesthetically, I think they kind of dropped the ball on this one. I'm not really a big fan of it. I think some people really like it. It's a striker-fired pistol, but I don't know. Like, it feels quality, and it also feels cheap at the same time. Maybe it's just its dimensions. I don't know. But my friend Ed from the gun club was like, hey, I picked up one of these. Do you want to review them? I'm like, absolutely. So hopefully when I get this to the range, it's going to change my mind. As I said, looking at all the small parts, how it's put together, you realize it's an HK. Now, it is a HK USA pistol. As far as I know, this is a pistol that's only available in the U.S. It's made in the U.S., and it's probably done that way to get around any type of import restrictions on guns of this size. So I really feel like HK is trying to compete with the micro compact pistols like the HK, sorry, did I say the HK? The SIG P365 and the Smith & Wesson Shield, Shield Plus, Shield X type of guns. So it does have a double stack magazine that's very thin. This one holds 12 rounds. I think there's 10 rounders, and I think there's some companies that offer 15 rounders as well. Let me see what this other one is. 12 rounds here. What do we got here? We got, no, 12? Maybe all these are 12. I thought Ed had said some were 10. Okay, so here's a 10 rounder. And this one I think is flush fit. Yeah, that one is flush fit. Where this one has a little bit of an extension, but not much. So you get a lot of capacity in a micro compact pistol. And I think it's pretty similar to the P365 and the Shields. I think also it kind of reminds me of the Springfield XD series. So tell me what you think of it. Now, it does have that kind of cool HK, I guess some people call it the Batman grip. It's actually really, really comfortable. I am impressed with that. And the slide, honestly, is really smooth. Like, I don't know. As I mentioned before, I know it's not really giving you guys a lot of good information. It looks and feels high quality, but also cheap at the same time. I can't really qualify that any way else. But I don't know. We're going to see. So I'm really excited about this. People have been asking me about it. I know when it hit the market, it was kind of a big deal. I think one of the biggest detractors to it, talking to my friends in the gun community, is the price. Where you can pick up a P365 And well, I hate to ever give any numbers because it kind of it does not future-proof the video. Because if I say the going rate today of what a gun is, people will tell me 5 years from now, you're an idiot. How that gun doesn't cost that much? Like, I know that video is 5 years old. So where I think the P365 on the entry-level models are relatively affordable. The base model Shield from Smith & Wesson, pretty affordable. The base model CCP is pricey for what it is. I mean, I think it's almost like, it's not quite twice the price, but let's just say 1.5 to 1.75 the times the cost of a P365. So I think it's kind of pricey for what it is. And that's also, for me, like a big downside to it. But yeah, that's what we got here, the HK-CCP. So if you have any experience with this pistol, let me know. I would love to know your thoughts. And is there anything about it that I should be aware of or take into consideration? All right, so thank you, Ed, for lending this to the channel. So I will definitely be putting this into queue to review probably this week-ish, or at least getting it to the range this week. I promised him a 2-week turnaround on this one, so that one has to get done relatively quick, and I still got other projects to do. Man, I've just been so busy in my personal life, I've really gotten behind this past a week with stuff. So anyway, the Garage Gun Talk portion of this video, I wanted to talk about liberals, or people on the left, buying guns. And is this going to be a good thing or a bad thing? And I argue it's a great thing. It's a great thing. So if you don't know, right now there's all these protests going on. They had the No Kings protest, and it looks like for the most part, most of them were peaceful and there was no real issue, which I'm totally fine with. People can go out and protest, and as long as they're civil, they don't destroy property, they don't hurt anybody. Now, I'm sure there was some incidents where that was not the case, but for the most part, the ones here in Texas, while I don't support them politically, I support their right to protest and to, air their grievances. And I think that's great. And of course, we have all these anti-immigration protests, and I've seen where prominent liberals in the media and in politics are telling people on the left, because they're trying to fearmonger, of course, telling them to go out and buy guns to protect yourself from the federal government. And I think they're doing that trying to get a rise out of conservatives going, oh no, we don't want the left and minorities to have guns, where I completely disagree. I want the left and minorities to have guns, because I want them to, number one, try to go buy a gun and discover how hard the process is. I am sure there are already people out there that are, worried about the federal government coming to stomp on their rights, which they should actually be concerned about. I think we all should be concerned about that, because that was the true and original intent of the Second Amendment. Thank God the people on the other side of the aisle are discovering the true intent of the Second Amendment. It's not about hunting. It's really about tyranny. And I support their right as long as, they're doing lawful things, acquiring guns in lawful ways, and they're not just out there indiscriminately shooting people. They're buying it for, I want it for self-protection. I want it to protect our country from enemies, foreign and domestic. Fantastic. Fantastic. I want them to discover how hard it is to buy a gun. I'm sure there's some leftists out there that have been told the lie over and over again. It's easier to buy easier to buy a gun than a book. And they actually go to the gun store, especially in states like California, where they realize, oh, wait a second, I have to go through this, background check process, not only the federal and the state, fill out all these forms, pay all these taxes, wait, 10 days, all this kind of stuff, register it. I am so glad they're doing this, because they might go, oh my gosh, this is actually a huge process. I was told it was simple. And maybe they're going to learn a lesson and start going, okay, actually the laws are way too hard and too difficult to get guns. But also, I want minorities to have guns, because the more people that buy guns, typically, once they get into gun ownership and learn to use their firearms responsibly, when they get that type of freedom, it frees them from the mindset of, oh my gosh, I have to rely on the government for all of my needs. And they realize, you know what? When they go to the range to hopefully train, when they go to the range to hopefully shoot their gun, learn how to use their gun, they're going to go there and see a bunch of conservatives, people that are politically very different than them, welcome them with open arms into the gun community. Because that's what I do. I don't really look at people and, say, well, because you're on the left, you're my enemy. I don't look at that. I have many friends that politically are extremely different than me. I might not talk politics with them, but I still love and respect them as human beings. And as long as they're civil and we have other interests, we get along just fine. But I want them to go to the range. I want them to go to a gun store and see the gun community is very welcoming of everyone. I absolutely love it when I see people of all walks of life at the gun range where I shoot. It's fantastic because it breaks the common stereotype that guns are just owned and used by old fat white guys. Okay? No, they're not. They should be used by all Americans. And as long as you are law-abiding and you are knowledgeable in your, gun handling, you're safe with them, and you buy them for the right reasons, for home protection, for legal concealed carry, for the idea that you want to protect yourself from a tyrannical government, I think it's fantastic. Now, I know that the people that are buying the guns today will not have to use them against the Trump administration because they're not coming for them. And they're, as much as they like to throw around the, I hate to use the word on YouTube because I don't want to get censored, but let's just say the bad guy from the 1940s World War II German guy. You guys know who I'm talking about. Evil mustache man, okay? And his political party. Trump isn't that. No one's going to concentration camps, as much as the left wants to act like that's what's going on. So these people are going to buy these guns. These guns are going to go into circulation. They're going to be used by people that think differently, maybe on the Second Amendment than us. They're going to learn about the Second Amendment. They're going to learn about safe gun handling. They're going to go to the range, and they're going to become part of the Second Amendment community. And do you know what that does? It protects the Second Amendment for generations to come. While the left thinks they're terrifying the right and the conservatives, oh my God, these people are getting guns. I love it. It's awesome. They're also helping the gun manufacturing community. You know how they always talk about the evil gun makers. Well, when these people go out and buy guns in mass, who made those guns? That's right. That's right. Those evil gun companies they hate. It gives them business. That's awesome. It's helping to employ Americans because, most of the guns are made in the United States. Not all. But the people that sell the guns, the people that distribute the guns, American jobs. It's awesome. So I think it's a fantastic thing. While they're trying to, as I said, they're trying to act like it's fearmonger people and get people to change their minds on the Second Amendment. I absolutely love it because we need to welcome these new gun owners into our community. Because for the most part, the Second Amendment can be an apolitical thing. The only thing we care about is gun rights. I can tell you that when it comes to my political advocacy here on this channel, I don't talk about abortion. I don't talk about anything else. You name the politics. Taxes. I can talk about taxes. But you guys don't want to hear me talk about taxes. We could talk about immigration policy. We could talk about foreign policy. We could talk about regulation outside of. For the most part, we talk guns here. That's it. And although being pro-gun typically lines up with one side of the aisle, it doesn't have to. I think it's fantastic and awesome. It's fantastic and awesome, and I welcome everybody into the community. And I hope people that feel differently than I do on politics, who go out and buy a gun, find channels like mine and see this isn't what I thought it was. The gun community is actually very welcoming, very cool. People in it are very kind. They want to teach, they want to help, and it only helps our cause. So there you go. That's my thoughts on the situation. So tell me in the comment section below, what do you think about all the liberals that have been told to go out and buy guns, and maybe you know some people that have, and are they discovering anything about the Second Amendment and gun culture and gun laws? And what do you think about the HKCCP, concealed carry pistol, which I assume that's what it means? And as I said, is there anything about this gun you think I should take into consideration when I review it? So tell me that in the comment section below. If you watch to the end of this video and want to participate in the word of the day, the word of the day is, that's a good one. I like to try to use a word that might not be as obvious. Let's say liberal. Liberal is the word of the day because, from my understanding, liberals have been told to go out and buy guns, and liberals are buying guns, which is fantastic for the gun community. So let me know your thoughts, and as always, thanks for watching.